you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I'm Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about what everyone's been anticipating for the past year, I guess, last 10 months, and summer break. So no more delays in traffic on the way to work for bus stops. That's going to be to know, but there's a lot of dangerous things and other changes that are going. My friends Kirk Patrick Miller and Larry Penton
giving you great contemporary.
We're going to wait for, Tan Talk Radio to come in. And hello to everyone watching. Thanks so much for being here. And you can leave comments live in chat. We're on YouTube, as well as LinkedIn Live, Twitter Live, Facebook Live.
It's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, where we strive to bring you the libertarian perspective on political events of the day. There's no show quite like Freedom Works.
Wait, let's do a soundtrack really quick. How are you doing, Kirk?
How's it sound? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Good to see you.
a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio.
We were just on the go. I love this. Like, these guys always just have it on check. I'm just like, I went live and they weren't even on here yet.
Come to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Warner.
Hello, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about what everybody's been anticipating. It might be next week for some of you. It might be a little bit different states or globally or whatever. But in my neck of the woods here, summer just began. Kids had their exams. So if you're listening on the radio, you probably are around the same time as me. Kids had their exams. They're excited about summer. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, now what? Are we going on vacation? Are we doing this? What am I going to do? How am I going to see my friends? How are we going to do this? Am I going to be on Xbox Live all the time or video games or whatever? And sadly, there's other statistics that go along with it that are like increase in suicide and boredom and feeling isolated and lonely and not being able to get to their friends because parents' schedules and daycare and things of that nature, where not only do children have to kind of acclimate that, but then parents that don't have children above a certain age, they have to come up with summer camp or take time off of work and things. So without further ado, before I formally introduce my guest, most of you guys know them, Larry Penton. He's a fire medic, as well as the host of Trigger Warning Talk podcast, and he does other forms of podcasts on Clubhouse, which, sorry to leave you hanging yesterday, Larry. I go, hey, let's just start a room. It's going to be fun. And then I remembered why I stopped doing the room. I was like, oh, yeah, we get sucked into this. And I'm like, hey, I got to go. Sorry. And then leave him hosting the room. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to publicly apologize for that. I was like, oh, yeah, this is why I don't go. I would just pop on. And my point was proven. They just kind of came on, right? And then you're stuck in a mental health room, even if it wasn't a mental health topic. And so I'm sorry about that. I wanted to get out of there. Anyway, and then Kirk Patrick Miller, thank you so much for being here. There's a lot
Always a pleasure
with summer as well, but Let's say hi to Tan Talk Radio. Ed, are we here today?
Yeah.
What's
Hi, Ed.
And happy Friday to everybody. I don't know how I follow that, but here we go.
What's going on,
This
Ed?
thing is in my
Hey,
face.
Kirk.
There we go. Your chat
missed
your
you
chat
last
box is
week.
blocking me. What's that?
We missed you. We missed you last week, but
I was on assignment last week is what we worded.
Yeah, I know. No, but Matt, I think that was last week or the week before, but I think
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Last time I was on live, there's the pollen in the air. We keep talking about this, but it's a real thing. I need to go see if I have asthma because of it or something. I don't know. But if you can't talk and you sound like crap on the radio, and so these two gentlemen, I betrothed and offered that teach them how to use the restream. So if I've got no voice, because nobody wants to hear somebody hacking on the radio. Hi, my name is Tiffany Morgan. Right? They've offered, and they have, and I trust them to fill in for me, and you know them, so like they can take over for me if I can't speak. I've tried to do the whole I can do the radio with laryngitis thing. You were there for that. Nobody wants to hear that. I've listened to people in the car with other radio hosts that you can tell they smoke like 4 or 5 packs a day and they don't have laryngitis or allergies. And it's hard to listen to them. And I don't want to be that person.
Well, that's why we have a cough button in radio.
Right. But I'm doing virtual, but the cough button would be down the entire show for me. On one of those days.
We have had guests that have worn them out, but we've had
the guests have. I thought the cough was not only for the cough, but like when you know someone's about to cuss.
Oh.
Well, no, that would be called ESP. I mean, I can't predict when somebody's gonna.
I think I have that.
Okay, the way the delay works is if you make a boo-boo, I have 7 seconds to hit the dump button, and it will remove that 7 seconds. I can't just go like.
Hey, do you have that clip of that interview I had where the lady?
I do.
Let's play that really quick. Can you set?
I'd have to.
You got to cue it up.
It's okay.
You're really gonna make me play that.
I will not make you.
That poor woman.
Nobody needs to know who it was or when.
Okay.
It was. But
it's
that lady needed
at some point in our life. It's happened to all of us.
Just for giggles.
Too much chili, whatever it was. It just came.
Give away the hint. Can you
it
find
came
it,
back?
please,
you know.
Before we change the topic too much, but. You don't have to say who it was, but I'll tell you, it's a licensed clinical worker like me, and she just rubbed it off like as if it was nothing. It's fun. It's the first of summer. Let's hear some laughs. What's it called what's that phrase for something and giggles for kicks and giggles or?
Yes, I think
now you gotta have to hit the dump button.
Yeah, now we have to, yeah.
Dump like literally,
as in you got dumped.
Or no, that she needed to take one.
All right. So did you want to hear this or not?
Yes.
All right.
Everybody. The preface is, all right. So as I'm talking, something I couldn't catch what was going on with Ed, and all of a sudden, this lady
had a moment.
And
I think I even texted you. Was that you?
When I went back to watch it because it was virtual, that my face was like. There's been some times where I literally was so glad that either I've had Botox or that I have had, I have a poker face just from counseling. All right, let's hear it.
We just want to remind everybody that the microphone picks up everything. So here we go.
I do not.
Okay, just make it. I don't know what that is, Ed. But
Oh, sorry.
So
that's just not a little oops. That's not a cough button. That's not a. Let's just do it one more time. Like seriously, you go that.
There it is.
I do not.
He knows who I'm talking
just
about.
make it. I don't know what that is, Ed. But
Oh, sorry.
That's not made up. This is not fictitious. This is like legit a licensed social worker from a very well-known residential facility. And
I think I texted you too. Was that you?
Your apology. Yeah.
well, she goes, oops, sorry. I'm like, oh. And then Ed sent me that, goes like, that was not, or I think she blamed it on her chair or something. He's like, you're
Yes,
right.
she did.
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
You know,
Welcome to summer. Welcome to Moments of Clarity. And now we got some clarity out of that. Anyway, let's get to our topic.
There you go.
actually, I do have a good segue. You know, as you bring that up, you know, we've all had embarrassing moments, and I know a lot of times for school, as we, you know, come back, at least for myself, we kind of rehash or think about things that happened in the past at school. And, you know, with that particular clip, we've all had embarrassing moments at school.
Mhm.
And I
Okay,
know,
so if it was somebody, if she was in person and everybody knew,
yeah,
like
it'd
when
be
she pulled it
embarrassing.
off on the video, we just kind of was like, oh, it's your chair. Let's take a break, because I
Yeah.
don't think I could have held my. I'm like, let's go to break right now, and then we just went to break, and then Ed and I had a laugh about it. Afterwards.
I had an embarrassment, and it was anxiety too. Probably the one time I really had anxiety is I needed to go to the store and get some supplies, and I had the flu, and I'd taken some NyQuil or something just to get through the day. So my wits weren't about me. So I ran into Sam's Club real quick. I was going to get a few things to get out of there, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I quickly went in the bathroom and I sat down, and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and sits down next to me, and I see in the stall has high heels on.
A little surprising.
So I sat there for a few minutes, and I thought, I tried to remember, did I see any urinals when I walked in? And I couldn't remember. And so I'm sitting there, and I have to wait until she's gone, because I'm afraid if I go out there, she screams or something. I don't know. I'm going to get in trouble. So I waited and waited, and I was legitimately, I had anxiety over it. How am I going to get out of this situation? Finally, she left, and I walked out, and here was this big security guard woman standing at the door with her arms folded, just tapping her foot, looking at me. And I said, I'm having a bad day.
Oh,
Well, I mean, like that's a easy mistake. If you had to go that bad, I mean, like just to accidentally walk into the wrong place.
No, but I was
Why
just
did it-
sitting there. I was
so-
afraid, I was, what if I walk out and, another woman comes in and she's fixing herself, or she screams or something.
yeah.
It was
think-
legit. It
okay,
wasn't
so-
funny at the time. I was just scared.
Yeah,
I-
I don't know if I was sitting there like in the mirror, like, and some guy came out of a stall and been like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in the ladies' room." I wouldn't have fussed about it. Like, I'm like, no wonder it smelled so bad. I might have made it like a comment like, "Dude, there's more air freshener on your side of the bathrooms." No, but anyway, that's really not what this show's going to be about.
I
But
know.
embarrassing moments, why there's increases in suicide, all these things, coping with the changes of summer.
Mm.
And that must have been traumatizing for you, though. Imagine if you were in the school bathroom at high school and that happened to you, and you had to walk out, and all the cheerleaders are getting ready.
Or even just having stomach problems. I was always embarrassed
Yeah.
with IBS. I try to sneak out of classes.
But but here it goes even further. Back then, it really wouldn't. It would have just happened and been over with.
Yeah.
If it happens today, it's all over social media.
Oh yeah, videos, everything. So-
Video, everything.
We
It's all
even
over
have a radio clip.
because not only is this woman today would be scared, she'd whip out her phone and say, look at this pervert that's in the ladies' room. It leaves his face.
There's this one guy that he's harassed my show, and I don't want to bring up who it is because I don't even want attention, but he's one of those gotcha guys. Like, so he purposely went into a woman's bathroom and did that and urinated next to a child and a
Yeah.
woman or whatever, and then blamed this high-end like supermarket that they allowed him in there. Like,
See,
how
that
many
just
sales
ruins it
reps
for all the people who make mistakes.
Well, this
Yeah.
one was on purpose, and
Yeah.
they recorded it and tried to be like, gotcha, to try to sue the company or whatever.
Ugh.
But and he's just
Did it work?
I
hope
don't
not.
know. I don't want to go into it because I don't even want to give him any
Bring it up.
publicity. No, I don't want to give him publicity because he's tried to do I'll tell you later. Anyway.
Actually, that's kind of a good thing to actually go into. You talk about one of the biggest things going into summer from finishing school are the relationships that we have lost, gone through, and being able to let go of some toxic friendships is actually really vital. So you just brought up something that, a lot of times it's not talked about in schools, but parents should be there to help their children understand that, not all of the people that say or are, I guess, quote, friends are really friends. And that's, I think summertime for me was always a place for like, I would always be anxious and go play whatever, which is important. Play is so important for children. I do think that it's a great time where you can kind of reset and undo some emotional damage, because it happens at school. A lot of times, we get caught up in something happens, we have a bad time, and you don't want to spend your entire summer locked away, scared, anxious, worried about the past. So being able to let go and having some guidance from some parents on, jumping into some activities, doing some things, having kind of a plan is helpful.
So much.
But relationships are so key during the summer, and that can be very difficult. I know, especially with, social media now being a huge factor, and even not just social media, but playing games online. There's so much drama that happens there. So the drama doesn't stop
I know
once you leave
personally.
school,
It's kind of sad though, and we're gonna just jump into a commercial break so we can just recue on what we're gonna do. But with how it used to be when we would take an exam and we didn't have iPhones in school, right? We would have nothing better to do but to talk to the kid next to us or whatever. So we would make and socialize with other people rather than our core group of friends, so to speak. Yeah. Now, when they're bored, they get on their phone and they are Snapchatting and talking to their core group of friends rather than saying hi to Bob or Susie or whatever next to them, just to like make extra friends, right? It's socializing. So they're still on their Snap talking to people that they already know when they're bored in school. But back in the day, I basically knew everyone in my class. Like,
yeah.
Surprise, surprise, I was social. But just I just did. But I could imagine if I was I had a phone, we would have a group text and I'd just be on that too, and it would probably stop me from knowing the people next to me or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's then they get out of school. You still have that core group of friends, and one of them goes on vacation, or one of them goes this, one of them has this, one of them gets a summer job, one of them, and then there's nothing to do, like for some, or the summer sports or other things. Let's take our commercial break and get into the core changes of summer. And if any of you parents out there would like to add some things that you're struggling with, things that you've noticed, or things that maybe you've come up with that are good ideas, anything like that you'd like to share, 866-826-1340. Call in. We're live, 866-826-1340. Kirk, on it. 866-826-1340. Yeah, you guys are going to all get it. And it's pretty soon. It's catchy. And we'll be back with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany in just a moment. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Warner.
Hi, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. If you were listening before, we're talking about embarrassing moments and how changes in school, changes in schedule, everything's kind of gravitated towards what do we do now, and what are our kids going through? You know, it's kind of a change. They're adapting to graduating to another grade, maybe acclimating into high school, maybe going to college, maybe wondering what they're going to be doing for over the summer, worrying about not being able to see their friends enough if they're young, or not being able to see their friends enough if they're older, or things like that. And then the parents also having to figure out what to do with the kids over school. With me is Larry Penton. He's a fire medic CEO, host of Trigger Warning Talk podcast, and Kirk Patrick Miller. You guys have known both of them, have been podcast hosts, great friends of mine, and on the show several times, and going to be helping out a lot more as well as we progress further with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. Going on 9 years, hitting 10.
It's huge.
Calling out for some help.
That's you should be very proud of that. You've helped a lot of people.
And you know what I didn't do is I never took a season break. I never took a summer break. I just went like
never having a break is
seasons, or like
huge.
They take breaks for reasons, right? So I never had Moments of Clarity episode, season 1 episode, whatever. I just went all the way through without a break. Sometimes you'll see ads that I didn't fix, like that says every Thursday and Friday, because like this one, because it was once Thursdays and Fridays, or Monday, Thursday, Friday, but I never stopped. You know what I mean? So I didn't plan ahead that, and then plus since it's mostly radio, I don't think all of the radio stations would have held my spot. Those 2 spots for like 3 months. Hey, I'll be back in 3 months. Let me get my guests ready and all that promo. It's exhausting.
Well,
through the years with Ed.
Actually, you said exhausting. From most of the little ones that I work with that are just finishing up, that word kind of sums up what a lot of them are feeling, is exhaustion. They finished the last day of school. I just worked with a bunch of kids yesterday, and it was their last day. And every one of them was actually tired and just worn out. Usually I expect to see kind of elevated emotions and really excited to be part of, the summertime. I'm seeing a lot more apprehension. There's a lot more that's going on for children now, and not just children, but adults as well, and teens and stuff that I didn't have to deal with. And definitely social media is a major player in that. And, for parents during the summertime, that would be one of the first things I would suggest is, talk with your children and maybe plan out a time, or at least set a time to get outside. Find a thing. It doesn't have to be outside, but doing some physical
Where
activity.
people go touch grass.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just go see the sun outside, away from your screen. It's so tempting to just hop in there and do that. And, I know there are studies out there that show and point to social media having some problems and causing some depression. There's a lot of different things. And you mentioned the suicide rate. So for anybody that's listening, the toll-free number for suicide is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 8255. It's an important issue. LP,
I know
or
that
Tiffany, do you have a reason or
LP
idea
Larry has
why?
one 988 #988, or is it just 98?
It's 1-800. And then I don't know what that hashtag is, actually. I should look that up.
Is it it's the Larry's got some statistics.
Awesome.
It looks kind of blurry though, just FYI, but is it hashtag? It's 988. It's a suicide crisis hotline.
Yeah, I think there's a text as well. So the toll-free number, that one I do know. And then even if you're not calling for suicide, there are people there to talk to you. So if you're just having a really rough time, give them a call. It's free. There are a lot of times when I know students and children are spectacularly hurting inside, and at the same time they want to be brave and they want no one to know that they're struggling, so they shut everybody out and shut down. And oftentimes they'll kind of go off, and that's when you see your child just disappear for the summer and they're kind of gone. Go talk to them. Most of the things can be fixed with dialogue and just communication. I know there's a host of different issues that I see each year. Tiffany and LP, what are some that you see, especially, as people rotate out of school and go into the summer? What are some of the biggest things that you both have seen?
I know for me, one of the things that I've seen is depression. A lot of these kids are having issues with, similar to what happened when the pandemic hit and the worldwide shutdown hit. These kids were locked in their houses. They couldn't go out. They couldn't hang out with their friends. Fortunately for technology like FaceTime and Zoom and Snapchat and all these different apps we have, they were able to communicate with their friends, but that does not take the place of being actually in person. And I know it was a safety thing because of COVID. However, in the summertime, because nowadays kids use technology so much, they tend to still stay in the house more. And that's a sign that, like when I was a kid, man, you couldn't. I'm telling you, the only time we were in the house is, we had to do the number 2,
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
I was always
number 2 keeps coming up. What is this? Coping with number 2. This whole show. I don't know. No, but you're right. I used to look forward to coming home from school and going to play outside. But
yeah, absolutely.
But it's sad because times has changed where, I had neighborhood friends I could go bike riding with, and I was trusted to go walk on the beach and swim 20 feet out, and who cares about sharks or whatever, you know what I mean? Things like that. Ride our bikes to McDonald's or to the convenience store and get a 25-cent candy, or I'm not that old, it was $1 or whatever, little Jolly Rancher or whatever we could afford after digging through the bottom of our parents' purses, a dirty change, whatever. But but without even a thought of getting kidnapped. And now it's all different. But we have a caller on the line. We've got caller Albert. Hi, Albert. Welcome.
Hi, Albert.
What's going on, brother?
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Albert? How are you?
Well, pretty good. First of all, I have to commend Tiffany for just showing up, because this is an invaluable show that has very difficult conversations. And I know it's hard to show up, week in, week out, and and discuss these things. So first of all, I have to commend you for this show, and I appreciate the conversation we're having today. But on the subject, I think it's important to note that parents do not have to be experts to do some basic research and look for the warning signs of depression and for anxiety and some of these issues. And piggybacking on what LP said earlier, because of COVID happening earlier, I think they're predisposed to go back into that mental frame of mind once summer hits. It's like, oh no, it's this again. So I think it's important to have routines and ensure that they are maintaining some form of social connections. And as a parent, I was really reluctant because of the detrimental effect of social media to allow my oldest to have social media accounts. But I have to learn to let go and trust that they will be responsible. But I'm totally following him on social media, and I'm friending him and seeing and monitoring and making sure that he's, having appropriate communications online. So I think it is important to make sure that we try to continue their life that they have during the school year, during the summer, to the greatest extent possible, and just keep checking in and just making sure they're okay and doing research because, as you noted, suicide rates are increasing. I think it's increased threefold since 2010. The second leading cause of death for kids aged 10 to 14 is actually suicide.
Cyberbullying. My 11-year-old and my older one, my teenager, have both been cyberbullied, and I think I have. So like as an adult. So
yeah, that's something I've
and
dealt
almost
with.
Blackmailed someone trying to pigeonhole me to some little piece of a show and like telling me if I don't do something like that, whatever I told him. I gave him a finger that it wasn't my wedding ring finger and told them to do something that I'm not allowed to say on the radio. So, try me.
Albert,
I'll just stick Ed on them.
Albert brought up something I really agree with. Parents no longer are in a situation where they are completely helpless. So one, I really liked what Albert said because there are a lot of tools out there that can help you. You never want to diagnose yourself or your child or someone else, but you can at least look for the warning signs.
You don't want to diagnose, but you can see a change in behavior.
Yeah, exactly. So when you see
there's
that,
a common teenager that wants to be in their room all the time. Like we just did, even back before we had video games, like whatever. Like a teenage girl just wants to be on the phone all the time. I remember, surviving three-way calling.
Yeah.
So, do you like so and so? I don't know. Like, and then sure enough, the dude's on the other line. Like, and you don't know, surviving the three-way calling, that stuff. But girls like to
got
talk.
some.
But
I went to and Albert gave me a great idea. I always tell people, like even on my podcast, I always provide some great visuals, and so I don't like really using stats all the time. I think it's appropriate for this conversation since we're talking about suicide. So go to the CDC's website, cdc.gov, and I posted a link in the YouTube page for Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, as well as my live stream page on Facebook. And one of the things that the CDC says is that suicide rates have increased approximately 36% between 2000 and 2021. And it's the leading cause of death for 48,183 people in 2021, which is about one death every 11 minutes. They also say that in 2021, suicide was among the top 9 leading causes of death for people ages 10 through 64. Suicide was the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 through 14 and 20 through 34. So these young folks are taking their lives at such a high level. It's definitely something that we have to deal with, because I always say mental health crisis is the world's oldest continuous pandemic that has been around since the beginning of mankind, and it's not going anywhere. We got to deal with the stigmas, the taboos, the stereotypes, and all of these negative connotations. Otherwise, we're going to continue to, be laying our young folks to rest.
It'd be sad. Even the cyberbullying, that doesn't even make sense. Okay, so coming up is the People's Choice Podcast Awards again. I'll be bugging for votes and asking supporters for,
As you
and
should.
then, and we all might, but that's another show.
That's another
Anyway, I put out this picture, and it was just like vote, and it was, I don't know if I have it here, but it just had a picture of me, kind of like this, but it said vote behind it, and it was a rainbow color behind it, and if they would have read the thing, it said, "Please vote for me. I'm running for People's Choice Podcast Award. It's radio." It got smashed because I boosted on Facebook, thinking that I was doing this, running for some sort of Congress, Democrat, LGBTQ plus, whatever, running for congressman with my hair like posed like that. There was the same picture, and but all this other stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, look at this Democrat, whatever." I'm like, I'm not running for Congress. I'm running for a podcast award. And it was just like this whole thread of hating me, and it was just like misunderstood anyway. But that still was like kind of irritating that people were just like bashing me left and right, even though it was misunderstood and it wasn't a personal attack. I mean, I guess it was, but it was I don't know. I wasn't really offended because they were stupid enough not to read it and just go by a picture, but it still stung because people were making fun of me. Like, they're saying, "Oh my gosh, well, she's not a real blonde, but she acts like one." Shit, like stuff like that. Forget 7 seconds. Anyway, so
Well, what you just said, that's something that I know we're going to have a break pretty soon, but I do want to state, one of the things that I spoke about on my podcast forever ago was the podcast title is Overloaded. And one of the things that I discussed is the fact that we're feeling too much pressure. I think a lot of and again, these are just hypotheses, but for me, one thing that I've noticed increasing even faster than the suicide rate is anxiety. We know anxiety is a major issue, raises cortisol, changes our endocrine system. I don't need to get into all the science behind it, but
yes. And real quick, we got Albert still on the line. Albert, did we answer your question?
Maybe. I'm hoping so. He had some great points.
All right, go on. I'm sorry. I just felt like we kind of just.
No, we wanted to make sure we caught him. A lot of it, like what you just mentioned, like you post a picture, the level of anxiety and pressure we feel. And this is not just adults, definitely children. They post something and it has to be flawless. Otherwise, it's a failure. Everything has become so black and white that people feel absolutely like there's no way to escape. They are closed in and they are cornered. And that is literally what I feel when I talk to most little ones as they are talking about how they feel. They feel trapped. They feel, I have to get 100% on every test because I have to get into Harvard. If I don't get into Harvard, I won't even be able to get a job. If I don't have a job, I will fail. You have like 11-year-olds that are worrying about SATs. We really need to, again, focus on, I liked what LP said, mental health is way more important for these children than pushing homework that takes 5 and 6 hours a day. Then they come home and during summer, they absolutely melt down and don't want to do anything. They forget about everything they learned over the school year and they restart the process again. Schools absolutely need to address this issue. The teachers are literally, their hands are tied. The teachers are doing the very best they can. The students are doing the best they can. Parents call endlessly. Administrators make promises they can't keep. Then they blame the teachers. It is a very difficult system right now.
like this, and it's time for our break, but there is a shortage of good teachers. My son even, like, I guess the teacher just thought that he wasn't going to whatever uh, get in trouble, but he legitimately said he fell asleep at his desk and put on a movie that was inappropriate, by the way, and um, and then said, "You guys, I'm really tired. I was up all night because my daughter, who went to this school, by the way, was Baker acted for suicidal thoughts." Now, this is a 5th grade to 6th grade class, and the little girl, her reputation, like, nobody needs to know that. Not only that, the movie that he played was inappropriate, like, and so he could sleep at his desk. Well, anyway, and then he was just a numerous amount of things, but then um, just some people just aren't cut off for their job, I guess. And bless his heart, if he's going through a hard time at home, he should have called in a substitute or something like that. And definitely not told everybody. These kids don't know what this is. Like at 11 and 12 years old, they don't need to know from their teacher that their daughter was on suicide watch.
No.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. And
don't undermine the kids. If you're a teacher, don't tell on one kid to the whole class. It's just not cool.
No, he put his daughter under the bus, and his daughter went to the school. So he's like, my daughter was on. Everybody knew who his daughter was.
Yeah, that's one of those things that a lot of times teachers try to do it because they think if they talk to the whole class that they'll stop bullying. But
so a child went home and said, we didn't finish this and this and this because he showed this movie, and then the parents like, what? And his daughter's suicidal, like, and so he slept, and then it went to the board and whatever.
Yeah,
I think he got let go of his job, but
we'll be back. She's okay.
Oh yeah, I know that she is. So, but just shortage of good teachers. We're going to be back with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany in just a moment. Please stay tuned and call in 866-826-1340 if you want to join the conversation. We'll be back in a moment.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Hi, this is your host, Tiffany Warner from Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I want to thank you for all your support on ending the stigma on mental health for over the past 7 years and with over 600 episodes, as well as several award nominations and placing as a finalist in 3 categories on the People's Choice Podcast Award last year. If you're listening to this on audio, please visit and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany and enjoy viewing previous shows in case you miss any live. If you're interested in advertising and would like to promote your company, it is affordable and an effective way to get your company the attention it deserves. I also welcome potential guests as well, and all information can be found on my website at mocwithtiffany.com. Thank you again for your continued support, as change can only come when we stand together as one. Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And we have had a wonderful, lighthearted discussion, but it could be continued at another time as well. And welcome back, Kirk Patrick Miller, as well as Larry Penton. And thanks for being here, you guys. We've got about 9 minutes left, so whatever points you want to make, just chime in.
LP, what would you add? Some advice that you would give, especially to little ones that are coming out, maybe that had a slightly rough year, and ways for them to get just centered over the summer.
3 words: use your voice. Use your words. You're just a person at the end of the day. Doesn't matter if you're 10 or 100. Use your words. Words matter. And if you're struggling with anything, the people that you trust the most, that are in your corner, that are not hurting you, that are supporting you, that love you, talk to them. It doesn't have to be a blood relative. I had a conversation with my first cousin the other day, and I told him, I said, I have more relatives than family, unfortunately. I got more relatives
or friends that are family than biological. And you know what? Use your words wisely, but in my case, my bark is a lot louder and harsher than my bite. So I'm a lot more effective with my voice than my fist, even though I took kickboxing for 8 years. But at the same time, I think I could kick some butt, but I know that I'm more effective the other way. Ed?
I would like to see parents be more involved in their kids' social media accounts.
Absolutely.
It seems that the kids nowadays want to announce everything there first, and I think if their parents are part of that, they may be able to catch it sooner than somebody making a stupid decision because everybody wants. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't know what everybody else wants, but I got to tell you that I think kids under 16 years old, the parents should have the password. And if they don't like it, then they don't have an account. Sorry.
There's so many kids, and
I agree.
I know.
I specialize in
them. They need their freedom. They need their.
There's
privacy.
ways around their.
I agree 100%.
We all know it. Even though as parents we try, but even so, one of my accounts I took over from my son. So basically, according to this app or whatever, they think I was born in 2006. So some things get censored, but there's things that pop up that you don't know what you're getting into, like, because you can use a different word, like let's just say something like pride, like not in a way like I have pride in myself, right? Or Google Pride, all these other things come up that lead to other things, that lead to other things, that lead to other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
not saying LGBTQ pride is one thing, but that word can end up away from parental controls.
Well, I mean, you brought up the bullying that happens, and then over the summer, what happens over the summer? I mean, when I was a kid, I had friends in the summer if they were in range of my bicycle, and that was it. And then I didn't see them till school. But nowadays, I mean, these kids can have a friend in Bangladesh, for crying out loud, on social media. Yeah. But listen, I'm talking about the warning signs, the bullying that's coming in, to be able to see that before it happens.
Come to me. I guess one took just a picture on their iPhone of one of my children and wrote something like with the crayon, right, with the pen, marker, whatever, art, whatever. Like, I don't know, this kid's something, whatever. And another one drew a picture of a male penis, like whatever. and they put it on their Instagram.
You
Now,
know,
my mama clause came out. I showed the school, and they were like able to press charges because that's assault in a different way, and
yeah,
it's illegal to do that. And it's also a child under the age of like 12 that is getting that kind of stuff attacked. So we had words, and
Well,
I felt bad for the mom, so I didn't really go ahead and press charges, but I had him write an essay and an apology letter
that's a
on
great.
why it's bad.
That's awesome.
but see, you're a parent that was being involved in your kid's social media. Now there are some parents out there that just use social media
My kid,
as
my,
while
my
they
child,
use it. Wait a
my
minute,
12-year-old doesn't have
but
social media.
they're
He
using it
told
as a
me about it.
babysitter for these kids.
He told me about it.
Here's a
and then I
laptop.
saw
Go
the-
on social media for a couple of hours. Get out of my face.
I think
It's
a
a
lot of
babysitter.
that comes in from what Tiffany brought up at the beginning, where parents all of a sudden have to make plans, and the
Sure.
financial repercussions of trying to quit your job so you can have one person home. There are so many little gaps and issues. I would say no matter what, the only thing that I have told the ones I care about that are little, and that is figure out how to love themselves. If they are happy with who they are, then every comment that is said to them doesn't really matter. If you know who you are and you objectively know you are valued and you are loved and you are worthy of being loved and treated respectfully, that is when all of the rest of your life falls into place. And so that's where parents need to be involved in the social media. They need to be involved in helping their children feel loved. Let your children know they are loved and heard.
Not
If they
only
do
that,
they'll
that you
come.
have their back. If something's going to happen, you won't overdo it. You won't
Yes.
embarrass them. You won't humiliate them to make the bullying worse, but that you have their back and that you have their best interest at heart and that they can come to us
Yeah.
and not feel like, well, if I tell my mom's going to overreact and like giving that kid the grace to, if this happens again or whatever, and I want an apology letter and I want an essay on why cyberbullying is bad. It is what it is. And
Yeah.
I
Well,
posted
and-
a
and
I
then he
posted-
started getting called a snitch. So then I wanted an essay on why it's not being a snitch and whatever. Like, I'm like, would you like me to retract my decision on this? And would you like to go to juvie? Like, seriously?
I posted a link from this website called mindsinbloom.com, and it gives 70 plus awesome end of the year activities. And it says the last few weeks of school are a great time for those to do some fun enrichment activities. And it gives you a list of all kinds of stuff. And I'm telling you, it gives some great tools and some freebies. The other thing I want to say is for those that have financial difficulties, a lot of the boys and girls clubs in your area have scholarships. They don't
Yes.
turn
A
anybody
lot of
away.
things. Look it up in the.
Thank you, LP.
Thank you. So we'll put some more in the narrative of the. We just ran out of time, and he's going to cut us off.
That's all right.
You guys, thank you so much, Kirk Patrick Miller, Larry Penton, everyone for following, all the friends. Everyone have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, be kind to yourself and to each other. You never know what a stranger's going through. And see you next Friday. Enjoy your vacation. Thank you guys. Wonderful show.
Moments of clarity. To yourself, be kind, it will please your mind. Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, you're so well alive. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.